All projects are temporary endeavors. They eventually come to an end due to the successful achievement of the project objectives, or they may need to be terminated before completion for various reasons, such as there is no longer a need for the project, it is not possible to achieve the project objectives, the project is integrated into other projects that are underway, there is insufficient funding to complete the project, or there are constraining external factors such as legal issues. Whatever the case is, all projects must be formally closed when they end. The first steps the project manager and team take when concluding a completed project include confirm that all project deliverables have been completed and received formal acceptance from the project sponsor, confirm that all project requirements have been met and any outstanding issues resolved. For agile projects, no product backlog items should remain. Ensure that the final project deliverables, including as-built plans and drawings, as-developed documents, user manuals, and any other required documentation, have been handed over to the customer. Verify that all payment obligations have been fulfilled by all parties, with no outstanding payments remaining, and confirm that financial records have been archived and project accounts closed. When closing projects, project managers and teams often hold project closeout meetings with the project sponsor and other key stakeholders. Project closeout meetings are conducted to mark the formal end of a project and obtain formal acceptance of the project's completion from the project sponsor. Project review meetings, on the other hand, are conducted to assess the value delivered by the project and determine if the project is ready to advance to the following phase or shift into operations. In these meetings, participants also evaluate what went well and what could have been improved, and discuss how lessons learned can be applied to future projects. As the project manager verifies that all parties have met their contractual requirements and there are no outstanding issues, all contracts must be closed with a formal notice based on the contract's provisions. Note that all the aforementioned activities also apply to procurement contracts established with project suppliers, vendors, consultants, or other parties involved in the project, as all contracts must be formally closed at the end. At this stage, the project manager should also seek customer feedback, measure stakeholder satisfaction, and use this information to enhance future project performance. Besides the previously outlined activities, there are some critical internal tasks that need to be undertaken by the project manager and team during project closing. The project manager and team must archive all project documentation, including project plans, schedules, reports, meeting minutes, logs, change requests, communication records, and other relevant materials. They need to measure the value generated by the project and evaluate project performance to extract valuable insights and lessons that can be applied to future projects. In this context, they may also conduct regression analysis to identify the factors that contributed to the project outcomes and document this information for future projects. In the last stage, the project manager and team prepare a project closure report, which typically contains the following elements: a summary of project objectives and the resulting deliverables of the project, an analysis of the project's intended benefits versus actual benefits achieved, and whether the project outcomes align with the objectives defined in the business case, an evaluation of whether the project met the success criteria outlined in the project charter, an examination of the project's cost performance, including any deviations from the cost baseline, a comprehensive review of the project's schedule performance, highlighting any deviations from the schedule baseline, a summary of any scope changes encountered throughout the project, including their causes and impacts, and a record of risks and issues encountered during the project, along with their respective resolutions and lessons learned. In the final stage, the project manager and team should identify any remaining lessons learned and transfer them to the organization's lessons learned repository. To uncover any additional insights, the project manager may also conduct a final lessons learned meeting with the project team. Upon completion of the project, team members and physical resources dedicated to the project will be released and reassigned. At this stage, the project manager should ensure that all team members receive appropriate recognition for their efforts and constructive feedback on their performance. Projects that use a significant amount of physical resources, such as construction, need to reallocate project facilities and equipment and deal with any leftover project material. Finally, a crucial aspect of closing the project is to celebrate the team's accomplishments. To conclude, let's review the ultimate tips for exam success. All projects, regardless of their development approach, must be formally closed when they come to an end due to the successful attainment of project objectives or due to termination before completion. If a question asks what the project manager should do if the project is terminated, the correct answer would be to formally close the project. When closing a project, the project manager should confirm that all project deliverables have been completed and received formal acceptance from the project sponsor. All project requirements have been met, and any outstanding issues have been resolved. During project closing, the project manager should ensure all parties have met their payment obligations with no outstanding payments remaining. The financial records are archived and project accounts are closed. Once all parties involved in the project are confirmed to have met their contractual requirements, the project manager should ensure that all contracts, including procurement contracts, are closed with a formal notice based on the contract's provisions. If the organization uses centralized purchasing, the project manager also needs to communicate with the purchasing department for this purpose. During project closing, the project manager should ensure that all project documentation, including project plans, schedules, reports, meeting minutes, logs, change requests, communication records, and other relevant materials are archived. In the final stage of the project manager should ensure that any remaining lessons learned are identified, documented, and transferred to the organization's lessons learned repository to be used for future projects. Know the elements of a project closure report.